This is Jay with Sugar Hill Sway. Dig this Stormy intro, man. Alright, y'all. We had a bad little weather deal pop through here last night. I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't a bouncing tornado. And it always happens, and it happens in the middle of the night too, when you're trying to get some sleep and then the weather pops up. So you're tired, you're sleepy, all you want to do is lay down and go to sleep, but you can't go to sleep because the weather's so bad and it's keeping you up. It's just a mess. They tore up a bunch of stuff through here too, out here close to where I live. I knew there was a tornado around because my phone went off telling me there was a tornado around, but I didn't think it was as close. Whatever they were describing where the tornado and everything was, I didn't think it was as close as it was, but I got some tops of trees wrung out in my backyard. I got a top of a pine tree right there behind my house. I still don't know where it's at. Just wrung it off, broke it off, carried it off, did something with it. I got a bunch of limbs down. My wife, I don't know how in the world it happened, but right there where she parked, there's a big limb fell right in front of her car. There's a big limb fell right behind her car. I don't know how she managed to pull that off. But it was kind of a mess. I guess today's gonna be a cleanup day. I was gonna try to get to a gym today, but it's just I got so much mess in my yard and around my house and everything. I need to get it up out of the way. I got that limb. I got a big old oak limb fell down on the shop, so I got to get it off. I got a lean-to attached to it, so it broke all the bracing underneath that lean-to. I mean, the lean-to's still there. It's just all those 2x4s underneath it are broken and cracked, and I'm gonna have to replace all that. Boy, there's another pine tree fell down. And them pine trees, they're like rubber. Well, not like rubber, they're kind of like, I don't know. They'll bend and bend and bend, and when they finally do break, they're just easy to break. But anyway, I got to run to town. I got to get some gas for the generator because we're out of power. I got to get some gas from a chainsaw. Thought I had a whole jug of it, but I don't have any of that. I don't know where it is. And, oh man, it got that house. That was a tornado hit that house. Ooh, it knocked off the whole top part of that house. And everybody's out on the road. And they all just running around looking at stuff. That's all they do is run around looking at stuff. I'm trying to get to town so I can get my stuff and get back. Folks out like they ain't never seen no tornado damage before. This little community that I'm going to, I'm not going to name the name or anything, but this little community I'm going to, I heard got hit pretty badly. It says another pine tree. Man, it took down a bunch of trees right there. Anyway, I'm gonna get my stuff and head on back home. I don't want to, golly. There's a peanut house in this little community, and I know it's got some tin. And this tin is over a mile away from where that, man, there was a tornado come through here without a doubt. And we went to bouncing. I mean, that tornado come over our house. I guarantee it went to bouncing. I've seen it happen before. They sit there and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and bounce and be on the ground, off the ground, on the ground, off the ground, on the ground, off the ground. Of course, I don't think ours ever touched ground right there where I live, but man, I tell you what, it's a mess. Y'all, I just come through that little old community, and I ain't videoing it or anything because I don't want to make a light of anybody's situation. That was bad. It does. I mean, you never get used to anything like that. I mean, you see houses destroyed and stuff like that. You never get used to stuff like that. I don't care how many times you've seen it. I've seen it before. I've seen a little old town over in Georgia when Hurricane Michael come through a couple of years ago. It completely just wiped that town off. People would gather up all their scrap metal and stuff, that all the trash, what was left of their house or their business and stuff like that, and they were told to put it out there by the, put it as close to the road without getting into the road, make a big pile so it'd be easier to clean up when they come around. And I've seen whole gas stations be pushed out there. All those awnings and stuff they have at gas stations, they just push it out there to the front of the road, or close to the road anyway. And that's the last time I've seen anything as bad as what I just come through. That was bad. I sure hope everybody's okay. I think, if I'm mistaken, somebody did get taken because of the weather, passed away because of the weather. So that's a shame. That's a real shame, because it's just, I don't know. It's a mess. But that's bad back there. I just can't emphasize that enough. It's bad. Alright, y'all. We are still without power. Day 2 without power. And I had to run to town to get some water, jugs of water, just so we can halfway clean up. I got limbs. I got some limbs I got to cut down in the backyard, but I ain't gonna do it if I'm gonna get hot and sweaty and can't take a bath, So I got me some bottled water, some jugs of water. I got like 7 gallons of water. I do buy water. We're on well water and septic tank sewage, so I mean, we're without power, we're without everything. So, blew down a lot of trees on this road too. So I had to go to town and get some water. But I got to brag on my son just a little bit. We had a bunch of limbs in the front yard. I mean, a bunch of limbs laying down in the front yard. And without even me asking him to, yesterday, he went outside and got all them limbs up and put them in a pile. Like I said, I didn't even have to ask him to. That boy has his moments sometimes now. But he did real good yesterday. I'm kind of proud of him, because usually, it's like any other teenager, you gotta not only ask him to do it, you gotta kind of nudge him to do it, you know what I mean? But he just come in yesterday afternoon and said that he got them all picked up. And I went out there and looked, and dang, he got them all picked up. So I'm proud of him. I can't tell you how proud I am of him for doing something like that. I know that might be just normal for some folks, but it's kind of special to me that he did that without me having to ask him. So we're still without power. I don't know what we're gonna do. Alright, so I come out here today. This is the first time I've really been out here in the shop since the storm come in, and it's looking at all this dirt and all this trash and stuff. How in the crap did it get in here? And I didn't notice it before. That's why. I knew it had got a piece of Now I got a little lean-to out there. I knew it had kind of punctured that, but I didn't see that. Dang. Knocked my lathe thingy down. It was hanging right there on that nail, or on that screw. Is that screw or nail? Screw. Knocked it down. It's sitting down here on the ground and got dirt all over the place in here. I wasn't paying any attention to it when I walked in here before. When I walked out here, I didn't walk in here. Yeah, see? That fell right on top of it. So I guess y'all know what I'm gonna be doing for a little while. Got that brace, that brace, that brace. You see that limb sticking down there? That's what punctured that one, but I didn't see one. Well, I didn't see any kind of limbs or sticks or anything on top of the house, on top of the shop. But that's the, look at that pine tree. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. That was a tree, had a top in it and everything. Top's gone. Several limbs are gone. It's just a freestanding pine log. Then I got this sucker right here I gotta clean off. You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. Yeah, so yeah. That looks like two different tree limbs. Well, maybe that one. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, they're off the same branch. I can see the branch that it come off of up there. I don't know if y'all can see that, but and then once it fell as one piece, and then that piece split off from there, and that split off from the tree. So that's probably what happened there. But yeah, I got a lot of damage up here. There's a hole in the top of the roof. We're supposed to have some more bad weather tomorrow. I need to get a tarp on this roof. And peel back some of that, and of course there's the hole in my lean-to. I thought that was the only thing that was wrong with it. I thought that it fell down and busted a hole in that lean-to and busted some of them braces, but I guess it did. I guess it did a lot more than I thought it did. But we're gonna get it cleaned up. We'll get it cleaned up. I ain't worried about it. I need to at least get a tarp on this before tomorrow, though, before that other weather comes through. Let's hope it's not as bad. Alright, this storm's coming through. Fixing to here in a few minutes anyway. I got the tarp laid up there on the top of the house, top of the shop. And I got some bricks holding down the grommets, and I got enough brick on top of it, and got a tire up there. So if it blows all that mess off, we're gonna have bigger problems than leaking shop roof. I can guarantee you that. Alright, see how well she does. Alright, I got my jugs ready. Carry them back down there tomorrow when I change out the trail cam cards. And yep, that's corn. These two are gonna be on the ground. This one I'm gonna put down there at the bridge and let it hang from the limb, because that's all the catfish food that's left. That's all that's left out of that bag. So I was basically trying to get rid of this. Is what I was trying to do. We had bought that catfish food and hoping to start a little catfish pond, and now the pond is kind of overgrown and can't get down there to it. So anyway, but I ran out of catfish food. That's all that's left, and I got some corn. I got a 50-pound bag of shell corn right there, and like I said, these are gonna be on the ground. So I'm gonna see how the animals react to the corn. I don't think they'll make any dadgum difference one way or the other, but we're gonna see. These, like I said, these two will be on the ground. This one right here will hang from the limb over there on top of the bridge. Got the holes cut in the bottom of it. And on these, like I said, I just leave them standing up or lay them on the side or something like that and just take the lid off. All right, I got them ready to go. And I got, let's see, I got that one full of corn, that one full of corn, and that one about half full of corn. Or maybe a third full of corn. So I got enough corn to last me a little while. All right, we're gonna see it. All right, looks like we fared a little better with the, no, I was wrong. I was going to say, looks like we did pretty good with the milk jug, but nope. Well, I got another milk jug full of corn. I can put it out. There's some action here, obviously. Not as much damage down here as I thought there would be when that tornado passed through here the other night. Of course, I don't think we weren't in the direct path. I'll go ahead and tell you that now, but we got a lot of high wind and a lot of damage up there close to the house. It's about, I don't know, a couple hundred yards away. Well, there's the camera right there. We're gonna change that. Well, I've already changed the card out. I put another milk jug down here. Carry the cart up there and see what we got. All right, I got that jug right here. I got it full of corn. I roped off to that tree. You see how well my camera placement did. Usually I have to come down here one day, see how everything, especially if I move it. I have to come down here one day. Boy, that breeze feels good. Come down here one day, change everything out, look at the camera placement and everything. And then sometimes I have to come back the next day and reposition things and stuff like that. But anyway, that's full of corn. I'm gonna leave it sitting upright because it's not supposed to rain for another 3 or 4 days. And plus it's full of corn. It's gonna be a little bit, it's heavier. So we'll see how much more work it's gonna take for them to tip it over. Shouldn't be no more work. The only reason I tipped the other one over on its side because I knew it was supposed to rain within a day or so. So I went ahead and tipped it over, but we're gonna try this right now, see how well they can tip it over. Bust break my neck right one of these days. All right, that's where I got the turn it downhill a little bit. There we go. We got the jug of corn right there. That old mush bottle, that old catfish feed that turned to mush when it rained there, and another one there. They're just free floating. That way they can kind of get to it a little easier, especially the possums. Possums are probably the only one that tries to mess with that thing. That one too. The way they go, they just chew right through it and chew it up anyway. So, like I said, we got those 2 bottles and got the milk jug with corn in it. Right here. Got it tied to the tree so they can go round and round the tree on this one if they want to. All right, raise that camera up a little bit. Raise that camera up and put a stick behind it to kind of angle it down, or like down, like there. But anyway, I put a new card in. I'm fitting to turn it on and go down to the creek. All right, y'all, look at this. It rained so much the other day, the creek swelled, caught the bridge and pushed it down about 2 foot. Yeah, that happened. Huh. Well, the good news is it didn't go no further than that. That takes a lot of water. I'm interested to see what's on that trail cam right there, because it had to have caught that. That's a lot of darn water, y'all. I don't think I've ever seen the creek that high. You look on the other side of the branch and see the other side of the bank over there, and see what's wet and what's dry. Shoot, it got all the way up here. I wish I'd have come down here earlier so I could see how high it was. It's still high now. That's pretty high right there. Huh. Oh well. Of course, you can see the bottles, where the bottles are hanging was dead center of the bridge. So it was probably more, on that side over there, it was probably more than 2 foot. It was probably close to 3 foot moved. Well, I'm not gonna move it back. It's obviously pretty stable right where it's at, so I'm just gonna move the bottles a little bit, let them hang down there. Alright, instead of hanging those 2 little 20-ounce bottles up, I went ahead and hung up a gallon jug, and that's all the catfish feed that I got left that I'm using. That's why I put corn in the other 2 places. I'm gonna have to come back down here and get me some rubber boots, I guess, and come down here and get in that water, because I don't feel like sticking my little hands underneath that bridge and not knowing what's underneath there, especially with all that trash there and not being able to see what's underneath there. And I don't feel like taking my darn socks and shoes off and everything else, getting in there, lifting that thing up. So I need to bring some more blocks down here anyway. So it got really high. It got really high. You can tell right there. What happened probably was it was pushing a bunch of junk down there, tree limbs, everything else, and it just blocked it up. When it blocked it up, it's, you know, just went everywhere, went every which way. But I got it hanging. I'm gonna have to readjust my camera here to where it's shining more to the right now, but that ain't gonna be a big deal. All right, y'all, that's the end of another week. I didn't have any trail cam videos today. They're kind of, the storms that passed through kind of messed up some of the cameras. They blew them away, not blew them away, but kind of blew them off focus, or fogged up the lens, or messed up the lens, or got some water in them. Anyway, there wasn't really any very good ones for this week, but maybe we won't have no more storms, and it'll be better down there. I put a bunch of stuff out and got some corn down there, so I'm kind of anxious to see how that does. In case y'all don't know, it's Sunday night. I'm sitting here watching 90 Day Fiance. If anybody of y'all seen this stuff, y'all know they some jacked up people in this world. You hear me? They jacked up. See y'all next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate it.